Hi, everyone. It's nice to see you. Thank you for starting with us here on The Pulse. I've got a breaking update for you right now. A press conference is set to take place here soon surrounding the investigation into Travis Decker, the man accused of killing his 3 young daughters near Leavenworth. Now, yesterday, the U.S. Marshals Service had a court filing that Decker was dead. However, the Chelan County Sheriff's Office said that they could not end their investigation until they had that DNA confirmation that the human remains found near the scene were in fact Decker's. That press conference is set for 4 p.m. in Wenatchee. We just got word of it. This comes on the heels of some back and forth between organizations pertaining to this investigation. So we're hoping to get some clarity at that press conference, again, just being announced. We'll continue on the notion of breaking news, though. An overnight homicide on the South Hill in Spokane has left 2 dead and 1 injured. We've had crews at the scene since this morning and now have an update. NonStop Local's Ainsley Anderson spoke with police on where investigators are standing right now with their investigation.
Police say as of right now, there is no outstanding suspect on the loose and that all involved have been accounted for. Police responded to a shooting in the 4200 block of East 34th Street. 2 men are dead and a third is in critical condition. Officers say all involved know each other and no one else is hurt. One neighbor in the area says he was shocked to hear what had happened.
It's usually very quiet up here, a lot of retired folks. The loudest things we usually hear are the rail yards, but that's down in the valley. It is it's scary. It really is.
The Major Crimes Unit is processing the scene, and police ask anyone with information to contact Crime Check at 509-456-2233. We will continue to update you on nonstoplocal.com as we learn more. Reporting in Spokane, I'm Ainsley Anderson, NonStop Local.
Ainsley, thank you for that. I want to take you to D.C. right now, where Senator Patty Murray is speaking out as the government shutdown could be less than a week away. The word we always use is looming, right? Well, she issued a statement on the memo that was issued by the Office of Management and Budget last night. And I point out what Senator Murray does because she's one of the highest ranking Democrats on appropriation, meaning she's in charge of the country's purse. She put out this statement over the concern that there could be some congressional firings that are done per the administration if Congress does not pass legislation to keep the federal government open. Democrats are pushing the president and GOP leaders in Congress to negotiate a bipartisan funding bill, noting that Senate Republicans will need some Democrats to get this one across the finish line. Senator Murray says, in part, quote, "America deserves so much better than a petty wannabe tyrant. President Trump will try to abuse a shutdown like he's trampled over our laws for the last few months, but that doesn't mean he gets whatever he wants as a result." She says that this is nothing new, and President Trump has spent the better part of a year chaotically and indiscriminately firing and then rehiring essential government workers. We're working to get more for you from the senator. This is where it sits right now. Of course, her position on appropriations very important when it comes to the conversation about the fiscal budget. Washington State's job market is growing, but at a slower pace. That's according to new projections from the Employment Security Department. Now, the department expects job growth to average just under 1% annually through 2023. Education and health services, they lead the way with nearly 2% growth expected by 2028. Now, this is the interesting one. Nurse practitioners and occupational therapy assistants look like they're going to be among the fastest growing jobs, of course, with Spokane being a major medical hub for the state. Okay, I want to bring you an update to something I said we were working on for you. Senator Steve Daines is responding to Health and Human Service Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., telling the FDA to review evidence that the potential around mifepristone could not be safe. Of course, it's relatively well known that the piece of medicine is safe and effective when it comes to abortions. Now, on that note, Senator Daines said earlier this week that the pill causes traumatic, harmful effects for women who take it, again, despite clinical studies and decades of established evidence that have been conducted. The senator put out a statement. We reached out to him, and he thanked RFK Jr. as well as the FDA commissioner involved in the investigation, saying in part, quote, "This is a very much needed step that I have been advocating for," and he says he will continue to push for it. Thanks for streaming with us on The Pulse. We're working to collect you more on the major national stories. That's, of course, the Decker presser. We'll bring that to you at 4. Thanks for being with us.